in May 2018, there will be a tremendous change in the way how we store, manage, and process data. And luckily, we have Igor Panjan, CEO of Datafy, today with us. He will explain us how could we prepare today in order to cope with changes next year, because if you start in February, it will be too late. Thank you so much for being with us. Floor is yours.
Thanks, guys. Hi, I'm Igor, and I'm CEO of Datafy. We are actually a data scraping, data collecting company, and we collect your emails and your business personal information and where you work and all these other things that we call segmentation in marketing. So even though we are a startup, you know, and as a startup, you don't give a lot of damn about legislation. Once you start generating some money, you soon get inspectors behind your back. So the things I will be talking about is, you know, experience after 3 years in being in inspectors review, and also the things that we have learned and we are pushing out to you to actually learn about the GDPR compliance that's coming out next year. So Datafy, we call ourselves that we are a global data gold diggers. We collect personal information, business personal information. We never go behind natural persons. So we collect data, public data from LinkedIn, from Xing, Viadeo, all these professional social networks, enrich this data via company web pages. We also search for additional data sources. We merge the data, clean it out, and sell it to marketing agencies, to actually other companies who want to do sales or marketing activities. So we actually help companies sell more by knowing more about you, so they can target you in their emails or their Facebook retargeting, LinkedIn advertising, or whatever. So we are also the guys, because the things that what we do, we are also the guys that talk to legislators. We talk to inspectors so that you do not have to. So one of our offerings that we offer to our customers is we also take care of the legislation and the inspector processes. And of course, so that we are good in that, we have to work with the best lawyers in the field. We have an international lawyer team working with us also from Slovenia and also from London and other European countries. And of course, we feel the pressure of GDPR because we are the guys collecting the personal data. So most of you probably first time ever heard about GDPR. So what the fuck is GDPR? So GDPR stands for General Data Protection Regulation. This is the thing, actually the whole European Union said, okay, let's give the power of what we can do, the companies like ours or marketing companies, what we can do with this data. The power goes back to you guys, actually to us, but I'm on the other side because I'm selling the data. So it gives you the power what companies like ours can do with your data. So you can decide what data goes out about you, what emails, what phone numbers, what addresses, or whatever data you would like to give. And you give this power back to yourself, and legislation takes care of it. So it gives you total control of your personal data. And also it rewrites the rules of data collection and usage of this personal data in marketing and sales processes. What does that mean? That means that even though I can collect the data out on the internet and it's publicly available, that does not give me the right to actually target you in my emails, in Facebook retargeting, on LinkedIn advertising, or whatever. I still have to have your consent. And you know, that represents a huge challenge for companies, because when we work with inspectors in different countries, they do not understand how the sales and marketing processes in companies actually look like. They do not understand how modern marketing actually looks like. For them, you know, even though I send you, let's say we are two companies, okay, we do not know ourselves yet, but let's say that you're a marketing agency and I'm a data provider. And I send an email to the CEO of the marketing agency, and I say to this guy, hi, I'm Igor. I represent Datafy, let's say data gold digger company. We are into marketing sales data. and we are kind of in the same field. Can we maybe have a business meeting, business lunch together, and discuss business? And for inspectors, this kind of talk is already direct marketing. In the old days, we used to say, come on, this is a normal business email, but for inspectors, this is direct marketing. So the rules here are becoming really, really strict. And believe me, this is coming from a guy that's 3 years talking with business inspector, with inspectors for data protection, personal data protection. So what this means, that means that whatever emails you collected, whatever CRM databases you already have, even if you have, let's say, collected through your sales campaigns or marketing campaigns, you collected a lot of personal data like names, company information, where people work, positions in the company, emails, phone numbers. For all this data to use after the 25th of May next year, you will need to have a written consent. And you will also need to have a written consent if you target these people through Facebook, through, let's say, phone marketing activities, or whatever sales or marketing activities. You will need to have a piece of paper where somebody has signed that so that they allow that you use their data. And this represents a really large challenge, how to actually do it for the companies working inside in European Union, or companies that are outside European Union and want to sell their services into European Union. And also what GDPR takes care of is if you get hacked and your personal data is breached, you have 72 hours to report to authorities. Otherwise, the fines are really, really high. But because I'm not from talking as a lawyer today, because I'm not, I will not get into details what are the fines. This is not important today. So what are the 7 key challenges of general data protection regulation? So if you work inside European Union or you work outside European Union and you want to sell your services in European Union, you have to be GDPR compliant. I mean, it's simple like that. So the only answer, if you want to work here, you have to be GDPR compliant. So the second question is how to store any personal data legally. So the whole data that you actually collect about, let's say, your users' personal data, whatever, it has to be, this data has to be in European Union. Also, one of the things that struck me most when working with inspectors for privacy, for them, for example, Slovenian inspectors, they see segmentation as something that is not permissible by law. What I mean by segmentation, if you merge people names, let's say if, you collect, let's say, users through your web page, and you collect first, last name, and an email, and you merge this data with the company web page where this person actually works, this is unlawful personal segmentation of people. And actually, you collect some kind of a profile of that person. So if you do not have a consent to actually do this, that means that you cannot use it in your marketing and sales activities. So even though I tried, let's say, on a personal level, I tried to teach the inspector how the, let's say, modern marketing works. You create a landing page, you have some kind of a form where you try to, let's say, offer something to your user, and you collect the email, send this email to Datafy where we enrich it with additional information that is publicly available. That does not give me the right to actually talk business or use this data in marketing activities. So, and also there is a personal data and sensitive personal data. So what does that mean? For example, in European countries, first and last name, address of residency, phone number, fax number, and who uses fax, but the fax number is actually written in legislation, and email is actually, this is not sensitive personal data. But the moment you merge, let's say, first, last name in an email with position in company, for example, what actually LinkedIn offers, and you merge this data with company information, this is already, from inspector standpoint, information that you can, let's say, okay, this guy earns like a couple of thousands of euros per year. If you have, let's say, sexual orientation on somebody, or religious orientation, or whatever personal data, this is perceived as sensitive personal data. Also, if you have some kind of a health information. And you really need to have a really good lawyer to actually take care of these kind of processes when you're collecting this kind of data. And inspectors are really looking into it. So, logical question is, let's say, especially for companies that are 20 years on the market, 30 years on the market, I collected emails from my customers for 20 years, 30 years. Can I use these emails? And also, how about, can I use these emails or other data that I collected on other channels like Facebook, LinkedIn, or whatever? Well, until 25th of May next year, you can do it. But after 25th of May, you will need a written consent. So what does that mean? You know, that means that we will have to find a way to be GDPR compliant, and that also means that no monkey business. So what does it mean, monkey business? You know, because we as Slovenians, we usually know how to get around legislation, you know. So logical thing would be, okay, let's go to Serbia or whatever country that is not a part of European Union, start a company there, and we'll just email the shit out of everybody in European Union. Well, it doesn't work like this. For example, in Hungary, where I just came from, you know, even though you do not have a registered company, and there is some representative of your company in Hungarian market, this guy is, and the inspector fined him, this guy is automatically legit to get a fine, and fines are not small. So the same logic goes, you know, also for other countries. So the moment you start to using this data on the European soil, you have to be GDPR compliant. So, but, you know, even though the first time I actually heard about GDPR, I said, oh, fuck, you know, in European Union, we try to put legislation on everything, you know, they're going to tax everything, and, you know, I was in a bad mood. But then, you know, I found out that actually lawyers are giving us a really good opportunity, doing a lot of negative marketing, getting a lot of people scared, and this is actually a good thing, because this is a motivation to actually find a solution. So this is where we come from. So that you understand, we are a data collecting company, so it is our motive to find a solution, and this is why I'm here today. So, because we're working with inspectors, you know, we are fighting with them for a couple of years now. Actually, with Slovenian inspector for privacy, we actually fight with them for 3 years. We're actually the longest company in the process, in the history of Slovenia. But, you know, because we work with them and we talk with them, we also found a way to actually find a compromise and find a solution so that we can teach you guys how to do it. So, first thing that Datafy will offer to companies like you or other companies in European Union, because we already built or we are building a global database of people and companies that will give us or have given us written consent that we can collect their data, and the way that we can sell the data to you, for you to use in marketing and sales, so that GDPR compliant. So this is the first and most important thing for us, and also for you guys. So that whatever marketing or sales activities that you will do on a massive scale, you can get data from us, and data that has written consent, and you can use it in email, direct email, or Facebook retargeting, LinkedIn, whatever. Also, because we talk about millions of people and millions of companies, the data update and consent management has to be updated. For example, imagine that you are, and maybe a couple of you guys are here, that you have a couple of thousand of users, or maybe even millions of users. And somebody, because some crazy lawyer puts on LinkedIn, you know, or some inspector puts on LinkedIn, oh, you have to be GDPR compliant, you can check with your service provider what kind of personal data somebody has stored about you, and suddenly you get like 100,000 people inquiring your company, what kind of personal data do you have about me? And you have 15 days to reply, otherwise you get screwed. For example, in our marketing activities in my company, there was one guy that unsubscribed from our marketing list. And of course, because we had a manual process of cleaning out the database, the email database, we sent additional 4 emails to the same guy. And he reported us to inspector. And you know, the whole process for one crazy email, and this is the mindset of inspectors today, for one crazy email, the whole process took 1 year. And I got, as a CEO of the company, I got fined. And because we work very closely with inspectors, the fine was only 30 euros. But otherwise, yeah. But otherwise, you know, you can get like a couple of thousand of euros of fine for just sending one freaking email. And this is their mindset. So it's important. Also, one of the things we are building is automated personal data request application. That means that you will be able to put our solution on your, let's say, on your web page or your kind of, let's say, SaaS solution or whatever, where there will be a form or this legal mumbo jumbo, and where somebody says, okay, what kind of data about me do you have? You will have our solution, so this solution will automatically connect to your solution and just deliver the data to the user. And also, the most important thing that we are building is data consent and audit trail solution. This is total legal mumbo jumbo, but why is this important? Especially in the first couple of years when GDPR starts rolling out, and the main date is 25th of May next year, there will be a lot of crazy time because inspectors will not have enough know-how to actually manage these kind of challenges. So what does that mean for all of us? We will get a lot of fines. I mean, this is how they work, you know. So the one way to actually manage this, and this is our job as a company, to actually, when you get an inspection and you get data from us, we will support you and you will have the whole audit. That means that you, inspector will see the moment somebody gave you a written consent, through all the other moments where we actually sold the data, you got it from us, and you actually use the data in email activities, Facebook, LinkedIn, or whatever. So on top of our data that we are already providing, we will also create tools for you guys to use to actually feel the pain, so that you do not feel the pain of GDPR compliancy. This is our job. So I would like to say, don't be scared of GDPR. Take it as a challenge. It's a great opportunity. Great deal of the market, you know, especially guys that are not serious doing business, doing marketing, doing sales. A lot of this kind of, let's say, unloyal competition is going to die out, and the market is going to get cleaned. But what does that mean for you and for us? That means that we will have to invest heavily in actually to understand legislation on the whole European level, and we are here to actually help. So if you have any additional questions, please sign up to our GDPR webpage, landing page. We created just for this event, so that we will update you with all the changes in legislation, not the legal way how lawyers are talking about, but the pragmatic way with tools, with documents, with forms that you can use in your business. So thank you very much.